Welcome to our channel Learning R is Fun. In our first video, we saw as to why we may learn R. In this video, we'll get to know the language with a brief introduction to its characteristics and history. If you are new to coding, some of the terms in this session may sound distant. But rest easy, we'll understand these terms better as we go along. R is a programming language and free software environment to write code, analyze, and visualize data extensively. It was developed as an interactive environment for data analysis at Bell Laboratories way back in the 80s. It was further developed over the years as S2, S3 and S4. The aim of S language as expressed by John Chambers is to turn ideas into software quickly and faithfully. R was initially written by Ross Hehaka and Robert Gentleman at the Department of Statistics of University of Auckland, New Zealand during 1990s. You may wonder who is behind this language now. Who is maintaining the code and updates? Who holds the copyright of R software? Well, the answer is R Foundation. R is supported by R Foundation for Statistical Computing, which is a not-for-profit organization. You may visit the R-Project.org website to know more. The R language is widely used among statisticians and data miners for statistical and data analysis. R's popularity and power is growing due to its packages. R packages are extensions of the language. These are created by developers all over the world in different fields. Packages provide additional functionality to R. For example, you may use tidyverse for data wrangling, ggplot2 for graphics, and Shiny package for dashboard development and launching applications to the web. If you compare R with humans, then R supported by packages is like a human in RoboSuit, with awesome capabilities such as those seen in the Hollywood blockbuster Avatar. R is a scripting language. A script is capable of being executed without being compiled. Every scripting language is also a programming language and not the other way around. A scripting language is designed for integrating and communicating with other programming languages. R also provides a markdown utility where you can blend the code and results in a single document. R is available for a variety of Unix platforms, Windows, and Mac OS. Let us see some of the advantages of R. R has been the standard for statisticians and is much superior to even commercial statistical software designed exclusively for the statistical applications. Being object-oriented, it has all the features of encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, class, and object. R exploits functional programming features to provide clearer and compact code. It means we can apply the same function or operator to all elements of a vector, rows and columns of a matrix or data frame in a single operation. The same multiplication operator here performs multiplication of two numbers as well as respective elements of two vectors. Without this feature, other languages require a for loop to supply pairs of numbers from each vector to a multiplication function and then repeat this loop for all pairs. R is available as open source and under constant development by a huge community support. We can download R from CRAN website. The Comprehensive R Archive Network is a network of FTP and web servers around the world. These servers are also called as mirrors and they store identical up-to-date versions of code and documentation for R. In our next video, we will cover downloading and installing R and RStudio. For now, we will have a simple interactive session using RStudio IDE. At this point, don't worry about the code, just have a look at the brevity and power of simple R code. We'll load some data, prepare a model, plot and arrive at an insight into the data in just few lines of code. R comes with some preloaded data sets for helping us to experiment with R coding and gain experience. For this session, let us use trees dataset. By default, RStudio shows 4 panes. Top left pane is for editor, and we will minimize this and we will use this console directly. We use the broom icon to remove the boilerplate text and clear the console. Now let us ask R, what is this data trees, by typing at the console prompt which is greater than symbol. Question mark trees is the command. Simple, isn't it? R tells us this dataset is about black cherry trees and gives a brief description about this dataset. You can see information in bottom right pane. Let me maximize this pane. This dataset provides measurements of the diameter, height and volume of timber in 31 felled black cherry trees. Format of the data is a data frame with 31 observations on 3 variables, that is 3 columns. R gives a brief explanation of the 3 columns as well. It shows the column number in square brackets. Don't worry about the format of square bracket and comma. It will become clear when we deal with the vectors. You can see the name of the column and what data is held in that column. R also cites the source of the data as the Minitab Students Handbook, Duxbury Press. The references and examples follow next to guide as to how one may use this dataset. Let us now have a look at the actual data. For this, we write the name of the dataset in the prompt. The data is now displayed in the console. R displays the data in 3 variables and 31 rows of data. Now we will use the same code as given in the example with as little code as possible. First we will use plot function. Functions are written with the function name followed by a set of parentheses which may include arguments for the function to work with. RStudio IDE helps us to complete the code with suggestions. This function will produce a matrix of scatter plots taking 2 variables at a time to produce 1 plot. In our case, we have 3 columns or variables. R takes 1 variable out of 3 as y, the dependent variable, and another as x, the independent variable, and plots a scatter chart. Again, for the same y, it plots another chart with the third variable as x. Therefore, for each variable as y, we can have 2 plots. For 3 variables, we will have 6 plots. Let us see what the command does. R produces all 6 plots in concise manner. The middle plot in the top row has girth in y-axis and height in x-axis. Similarly, you can see the second plot in the first column. The plot has girth in x-axis and height in y-axis. You can interpret the remaining plots in similar fashion. Pretty neat. Instead of a matrix of plots, we will now draw a single plot with volume as a function of girth represented by the tilde symbol. Plot volume as a function of girth and data is trees. R produces the plot instantaneously. One limitation of the scatter plot is that it cannot show interaction effects of another variable. That is, when we have plotted a volume as function of girth, we could not see the influence of the third variable, height, in the plot. A co-plot or conditional plot comes to our rescue. R has a huge variety of plots such as scatter, line, bar, histogram, pie, box plot, mosaic, density plots, and so many types. One such plot is this conditioning plot. A conditioning plot, also known as subset plot, is a plot of 2 variables conditional on the value of a third variable, which is the conditioning variable. Let us issue the command. Coplot volume as a function of girth, height is the given condition, data is trees. Vertical line above the backslash key is used for indicating the conditional operation. On executing the command, we will see the coplot drawn with the conditional variable ranges shown above the scatter plots to compare the relationship between the volume and girth for each range of height of the trees. A nice and compact representation of our data. I hope you will agree. Next, we will see how to create a simple model for this data. In R, we make a number of statistical models. The goal of a model is to provide a simple low-dimensional summary of a dataset. We will fit a linear model which we name as LM1 and find out what the model says. You would have guessed the command by this time. In this case, we assign the result of the LM function to a variable, say LM1. LM1 assignment symbol given by less than and hyphen. LM volume as a function of girth, data is trees. Now LM1 model is nothing but a list containing all model attributes, which we can see using attributes function. We can see 12 attributes of this model. The summary of the model is obtained using summary command. We see that R's LM model gives us a fit, the residuals, the difference between actual and the fit, coefficients, probability for hypothesis, T and F statistics, etc. Now let us examine the trees data using technique of hierarchical cluster analysis. The R code for this is fairly straightforward. Like the model example we used before, we use a function hclust and assign the results to a variable, say hc1. hc1 assignment symbol, hclust, distance matrix given by trees data, method is average. We can do the plotting of this hc1, which shows a dendrogram. In the dendrogram, we can see tree number 31 is kept isolated. Let us look at the data, have the summary of the data, and we see 31st tree has got the maximum values. The dendrogram basically provides grouping of the trees. So 31st tree is totally different from other trees and that is kept different. In this case, we have got only 31 rows. If we have thousands of rows, then it is extremely difficult for humans to make such grouping. R does it in few seconds. We can see the history to see that how simple commands we have used for this data analysis and visualization. We will see the statistical models in detail sometime later in the series. Well, now we have come to the end of the session. In this video, we had a brief introduction to R programming language, how it all started with S written in C and Fortran, S plus following it later giving way to R developed in the early 90s. We saw some features of R such as R is open sourced, object oriented, scripting language, exploits functional programming features, etc. And finally, how only with a few lines of code you can produce so much of analysis. Hope you are really excited to get going. In my next video, we'll see how to install R and RStudio IDE. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.